Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. The last time I was in Italy in September 2019, before the pandemic, I was actually right above Caiarossa with Luca. With Luca da Toma.
You went to Luca. Okay.
Yeah, so it was
Nice.
right there, but the whole area is fantastic. It's
it's his property. We bought all the vineyards next to him.
Yeah,
where we're planting a lot of Nocolino. What's a very clayish, like nearly Saint-Emilion blue clayish schistous soil,
and some volcanic soils also that are very interesting.
Yeah.
And also you are at 350 meters above sea level, so it's quite fresher. You are maybe 2 or 3 degrees less than on the coast, and it's always windy. So it's very healthy, and also it's very fresh. We keep always a nice malic acid over there, and it's very interesting.
So tell me,
Syrah, Cabernet Franc are doing very well over there.
Tell me your impression of the 2018 vintage, because it wasn't a perfect vintage, but it made very balanced and fresh wines, what I've tasted so far. So how did you like it for your area on the coast?
I said, of course, it was the beginning of the season was, of course, rainy, as you may know, and but it's helped a lot to have a nice freshness and to have a nice fruit. The technical team did a nice job on the control of pests and disease and everything, and it was not a big problem over there, and especially on these terroir where you have always wind. It's always cleaning up, it's always drying the leaves, and so it was, thanks to this water, it was quite balanced and classic vintage. And then after like middle August, when you have the ripening, the proper ripening, it was sunny and with a perfect flavors for maturation and for a nice harvest. And another thing that is important there is, the difference between day temperature and night temperature, something that I've seen also when I was in Chile, but over there it's quite impressive also. And with this kind of difference, you increase a lot the color, the flavors, and you keep, it's like putting your grape in the fridge during the night, and you keep the freshness and the acidity like that. So I think it's crisp and it's still spicy and ripe, but with a beautiful balance.
It's what's lovely, and compared to also, if you have the 16, what was of course also was a great vintage. 17 was a little bit more complicated due to this extreme heat, and you see this breath of fresh air in the 18th, where for us, I think it's for us, it's one of the most balanced vintages we produced up till now. You find that lovely, sexy, opulent fruit, and yet again having this very nice thriving acidity of that coolness.
But also you, if I remember from our conversations in the past, you've been cutting back also on your extraction and new wood, and so this really plays, 18 should play in nicely to your hand on what you're doing.
And it's especially if you look to the if we work with Axel Marchal, who is and he really loves it because it's outside of his Bordeaux environment, and he's completely very motivated into the project, because it really gives him also a completely different perspective to what he's used to. And his mission was especially to work on the precision and the precision of the tannins and the cleanness.
The aromatic.
Very aromatic precision with a lot of cleanness. And it's very interesting when you also taste Pergolaya. You have this typically Sangiovese expression, but it doesn't have this austerity. So that is the extractional part where we completely cut back to have a more soaking extractional process, instead of having hard more pumping over
yes
extraction.
and
Voilà.
and was there any issue with crop levels? Because I heard that some people had quite a large crop.
It's in 18 for us. It was there not far from the 18 in Bordeaux. It was a small, a small production. What we did do there also at the time with actually we brought a little bit the vegetation a little bit lower. What really helped to get even on the Merlots, because the end of the summer was very nice. And even gave on the Merlots a very bright freshness, other than the opulence and the high level of alcohol. And at the end, I think it's a lovely vintage. We showed it when we released to the Place to all the negociants. We went to see them last year to show the 17, 18, and 19 barrel sample. And everybody was blown away with the 18 already, and that also helped enormously. That the 17, what was more complicated commercially overall, was a big success because they really engaged themselves into the project of Caiarossa. That was great.
Because in fact, I've tasted a lot of Bulgari 18s, and I think that the quality's fantastic. But of course, Bulgari is a lot different than where you guys are, because you're much higher up on the slopes, which is really interesting. And also, you're organic, but at one time you were biodynamic, right?
We are even biodynamic. We are biodynamic since the beginning of the property. So it was planted biodynamic.
We changed in the 2019 vintage. 2018 we're biodynamic vineyard cellar. And in 2019, we decided to stop the biodynamical aspect in the winery, just because we wanted to be more precise in our own in our own field, meaning that we selected our own yeast. Same thing what we did in Giscourt. We've worked nearly 12 years on that for Giscourt, where we selected our own yeast. What we lose for our fermentation. That's what we started to do also at Caiarossa. So it's not a rock and roll environment with fermentation sometimes going up to January. And because of that, you're much more precise on the direction of where your wine is going. You don't have any risk of volatile acidity appearing, etc. And that was really it was a big decision we made with Axel, and I think it was the right one.
Let's taste some of the wines. I haven't tasted the Bianco, and I guess it's always been maybe at one time there was some Petit Marsanne or something, if I remember. But
Petit Marsanne, we have it on a sweet wine. We do a sweet wine that is not there. It's a very small production. Oro. It's called Oro di Caiarossa, and it's Petit Marsanne. But this one is not Petit Marsanne.
This is completely Chardonnay.
Chardonnay.
And most of this wine is what we consume and distribute locally. And here in the 19, we have a 60 Viognier and a 40 Chardonnay.
Really good.
And there you feel by having even those kind of warmer orientated varietals, there's a lot of freshness in it, because it also has a very chalky kind of terroir.
Yeah, totally.
And that really gives a lovely energy through the wine. And it's we don't have enough of this. A lot of people want it from all over, and but it's not.
So
it's a small production, but on the new vineyards we've planted a little bit more. So in around 5-6 years, that should be interesting.
Does this see any wood?
Yes. So it is. So it's whole bunched pressed gently. Then it's just a little settlement by with cold, and then it's fermented in barrel, but in used barrel. And we are trying with 400 liters barrels this year. So we try to have the nice body and volume of the barrel, but not the aftertaste, not too much aromatic from the barrel. But the barrel will give a nice roundness and body.
What I like is you can still see the Viognier character in it. Just by chance, I've been drinking some Viogniers from Condrier over the last couple of days, and you see the same, very, very typical Viognier character. And a lot of times the Chardonnay negates that. It covers up the Viognier.
Yeah.
We try to keep the Viognier elegant and to have it's a tricky varietal. Sometimes the Viognier needs a very specific place, like in Condrier, because it can be very phenolic if it's not done well.
Exactly. And gets sort of waxy.
Yes, exactly.
I totally agree.
Also, you can have some bitterness sometimes.
Yeah.
We celebrated this weekend was my 50th birthday, and we were with Frédéric, and we opened some Gruyère, which was delicious.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Did you see the other day I had your 1970 Giscard?
Yes, I saw it. Thanks for the post. It was very nice.
But you know who that was actually Ginny's bottle, because Joe, her husband, brought it to dinner.
Oh yes. Oh great.
Yeah. It was that's such a perfect wine. It's amazing wine.
No, it's a great wine, and I always show it blind. And still a lot of people they blast it.
Yeah. But what someone asked me, they said, what vintage do you think will most likely be the new 70 Giscard? Because you have 15, 18, 19, 20. I mean, there's 4 vintages. They could be maybe 19, I guess, but
I think it's a combination. I think it's more 20 because it's 70 was a little bit more ballsy, but 70 had more Cabernet Sauvignon, and then that will be very interesting. But the tannins at the time were so different in extraction that we have nowadays. But what you feel, what's interesting was also in the 19 vintage, it was Béthane. When Béthane came to taste it, and he knows Giscard from the Taris, the whole thing, he said directly, it has the point of the 70, the point of the 70, what was still in his mind as the real character of Giscard, and he found that back really in the character of the 19, and afterwards also in the 20.
I think you're definitely there. The tannins are that way, because the tannins are quite linear tannins. They don't go like this. They always went like that.
Yeah,
more like a Pauillac.
Yeah. No. It's very true. Yeah.
So the Pergolaya is what percentage Sangiovese then?
So we have Pergolaya is nearly around 80% Sangiovese. And then it has around 15 Cabernet Sauvignon and a twitch of Merlot, around 8%, 5%.
Yeah, 18, 15, 5.
Yeah. 18, 15 Cabernet and 5 Merlot. And what's wonderful of this wine, James, this is only 13% alcohol, and
that's delicious.
I think it's one of those wines will really, when you want a fresh Tuscan wine without having the voluptuousness, it has this very more sizzling, kind of more Nordish style. What I like a lot, I drink this personally a lot because it's very easy to drink, and it's very spot on, very delicate and precise.
Very good. Okay, let's go to the
this one is very
Aria.
Italian.
The Aria. So Aria comes from the soil not far from where Luca di Toma is. So we're on this more clayish, more volcanic kind of Sicily soil, bluish And a little also, it's one of the highest altitude. So it's a very different expression of style of wine compared to Caiarossa. What's more gravelly, sandy, chalky in depth.
Again, it's so approachable now. I actually tasted it last year, but it's nice to taste again. And the tannins it's so fine tannins, but nicely together.
Thank you. And that was really working differently in the vinification, the extraction, and also being more precise on the maturity of the picking.
And what's the assemblage?
So here in the assemblage of Aria, we are 32% Cabernet Franc. Really, the Cabernet Franc, now, as you know that, of course, from Lucas wines.
Yes.
They're great there,
It's
but
great
more
area,
and
yeah.
more, we really start to have great success with Syrah. So
okay. Yeah, Syrah is good too. Great Syrah there too.
Yeah, and so we have around 30% of Syrah in the blend, with 20 Merlot and around 10 Cabernet Sauvignon.
So on this wine again, there's not much new wood, no?
It has a little bit. Around roughly, we are around 30% of new wood, because we really want to keep this fruity brightness in it. We also we blend much sooner than we used to do, James. So this also, the multi-blend really starts to build together. And we also start to use bigger barrels instead of not only the Bordelais 225s. We work around the Foudres with around 400 liters.
Beautiful aromas.
Yeah.
Just super clean, pure fruit.
It's opening, right? It's
But it's really that cleanness what you get in the wine, what I'm most proud of, where we really made a big step forward in the 18, 19, 20 vintages.
This is a huge change from some of the past. Some of the past wines are really massive. Even the let's see. Yeah, the 16 was really big. And do you think that the 19 will be along the same lines?
The 19 is a very balanced vintage. It also has this I think maybe this little bit more opulent generosity. What is great about the 18, it has this beautiful purity and very defined, very precise. And this is also, so it's it's a 30% Syrah in the blend, with around roughly 30% of Cabernet Franc.
And what one thing I'm interested in is why did you keep the Sangiovese? Because sometimes it's a bit rustic on the coast.
Absolutely, but what you feel also in the Sangiovese of the Pergolaya, we have certain plots of Sangiovese what are really very interesting, and you just get this little aromatic complexity of it, what adds an interesting part.
Also, Sangiovese, well that it has a nice acidity, and it's very impressive. In Italy, it's this grape. It's true that you have hard tannins sometimes, and you have to work well with it. And as I've seen it in Brunello, but especially the acidity is impressive. And so just 5% in the blend is not a huge blend, huge part, but it's interesting to give some Italian touch in the blend, and this acidity is important.
I really like it. It's very, very fresh and really has a long length. And also, but it's so attractive to drink now. You keep on tasting it. It's really fun.
No, it's lovely wine.
I like because it's approachable, as you said, but it's still complex. And for the connoisseurs, they will have a long time like tasting and discovering this wine. And it's a very interesting wine, thanks to its complexity, the terroir that we have over there. But
when will you release? When will it be sold in September in Bordeaux then?
We'll organize in September a big event where we'll do a vertical of the property because we started in 2004, so we're slowly coming to a serious amount of years. So it's nice for the Place and the whole sales teams of the negociants to see what the property is about, and then we will release it on I think the 15th of September.
Yes.
The 15th of September. So yeah, so that's just, I think the 14th Maceto comes out, and then will be the day after.
Good. Well, I hope it's not the same price.
No, but that's what is fun about these wines is a lot of them are all being very much drunk, and when people they start to drink them, they all come back to them. So it's slowly also the property is getting a little bit more serious. It's getting more age on its back, and people really started to love it because it's a great value.
I think you're but what I have to say is I think that you're really on the right track, because I gave a high score to 15 and 16, but I was always a little bit, slightly doubtful because of how extracted they were. And I really think that this works incredibly well. And for the vintage, it's not just the vintage, that's you making much more balanced wines. And then the vintage gave you even more balance. But I'm sure that a vintage that's a little bit richer, like 19, it's gonna be just like a step up, I bet. And what I'm trying to say is I think that, and it works better. It's like the old way, you lost something in the wines. And Luca had the same thing. When you see the wines he made in 2000s compared to today, you can see the terroir. You really can see where you guys are. That's how the wine should be, more refined rather than really pushing it.
Yeah, it's fun with Luca. We make a wine together.
Yeah, I know. I tasted it
with the Ferragamo. We make.
Yeah.
You tried it. It's fun, huh?
Yeah, I think it's really fun. He let me try. Actually, no, it was actually Massimo who I drank it with. I haven't had the new one, but it's fun. Yeah, Ferragamo. So, but that's a cool thing. And you guys have a cool area now. Yeah. The three of you guys.
Yeah. No, it's true.
It's true. We go well with our neighbors. When we need help on material, we exchange material if we need help, and it's nice to have this kind of environment with our neighbors. It's not.
They're great guys. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay, Carissimi. Well, thank you very much, and it was a fun tasting, and I really enjoyed the Caiarossa 18, and also the white. I thought that was a step up too. So well done, guys. Okay, see you soon.
Bye.
Ciao,
Have a good
James.
day.
Ciao,
Bye.
caro. Grazie. Ciao.